Mrs. Quartermain, we've heard a great deal today about your husband's relationship with Susan Moore. Did you know about this liaison?
I not only knew about it, I caused it.
How?
My indiscretions drove my husband to another woman.
Didn't that bother you?
Yes, it did at first. But in the final analysis, no. It didn't at all.
Well, why not?
Because my husband and I have known all along we would always be together. We would never separate. It was common knowledge. Knowledge that Susan Moore should have had.
Would you describe Susan Moore as a victim?
I would say Susan Moore was in the wrong place at the right time. She was there before Alan and I even realized that we were going to be together for the rest of our lives, that we could not exist without each other, and that certainly nothing would ever, ever cause our marriage to end.
But you know that now, both of you.
Absolutely.
Are others aware of this dedication now that you two have for each other?
Oh, yes, I think our friends have been. As a matter of fact, I think our friends have been more aware of it than even we were. I could say our friends, meaning family, our colleagues in the hospital. Sadly enough, the only person who was not aware of it was Susan Moore. I do feel sorry for her. Unfortunately, she deluded herself into believing that Alan and I did not love each other. And that was very wrong.
Thank you, Mrs. Quartermain. No further questions.
Mr. Baldwin?
Thank you, Your Honor. Dr. Quartermain, in spite of your touching words of love for your husband, you did in fact file for divorce against him.
You should know, Mr. Baldwin, you were my attorney. You did everything conceivable to persuade me to go through with it, even when I wasn't sure I even wanted to.
Yet you did drop the divorce action. Why?
You know,
because you were afraid you were going to lose too much money to Susan Moore?
You know better than that, Mr. Baldwin. You dropped my case.
Just answer my question.
I intend to, Mr. Baldwin. You dropped my case when I told you I did not want a sensational trial. You informed me that you would not be making enough money. Therefore, you pulled out.
I must ask you again. Just answer the question.
I believe I am. When I told you I did not want Alan subjected to a sensational trial, you told me to go find myself another lawyer.
No further questions.
Does the defendant have anything further?
No, Your Honor. The defense is content to rest.
In that case, you are excused, Mrs. Quartermain. Neither party to this action having anything further, I will review the matter in my chambers and return with my decision. This court is now in recess.
All rise.
Why did you let her say all those things?
Just shut up, Susan.
Hey, Doc Rick. Boy, am I ever glad you're here.
Well, I'm ever glad that I'm here, too. Now, what's going on, guy?
Amy's crying.
She's back?
Yeah, she's upstairs crying right now.
Why?
I don't know. That's why I called you. She feels terrible, Doc Rick.
Blackie, you have any idea what happened?
No idea at all.
Oh, thanks. That's a big help.
That kid's exaggerating. Don't worry about it.
I am not exaggerating.
Hey, look, girls always cry. You know that.
You don't have any idea at all what she was crying about.
Sorry, I couldn't tell you.
I would like a little more complete answer than that, okay?
I told you, I don't know. She's crying. She always cries.
Amy, I was just going to come up and see you. I understand there's a problem.
Yeah.
You're upset. What about?
I'd rather not talk about it.
Amy yelled at Blackie. Mike?
All right, well, wait a minute. Let's allow each person to speak for themselves, okay? Now, if there's some disagreement between you and Blackie, I'm sure we can patch that up, right?
He's too obnoxious.
Obnoxious?
To talk to.
I ain't obnoxious. Tell him what happened. I just told you the truth. Go ahead, tell him. Admit it.
I don't have to admit anything. In fact, I don't even have to talk to you.
Oh, wow. I'm all bummed out. I don't like talking to you either.
Wait, just a minute. That is enough from the two of you, okay?
He's a jerk.
Oh, look who's making cracks now. I ain't no jerk.
Hold it just a second. Back in your corner. Don't talk. Take a nice deep breath. You too, Amy. I don't want to hear another word from either one of you, okay?
Suits me fine.
Me too.
Look, I'm going to go in the kitchen. I expect to hear absolute silence in this area, all right? Thank you.
What are you going to do in the kitchen?
I'm going to make something to eat, like dinner.
You?
Yeah. Yes, me. I'm going to make it. The three of you are going to eat it, and I expect at the end of the meal for the three of you to say, hey, that was some good dinner. Got it? Excuse me.
I know. You're hungry.
No, not exactly. Court sort of put me off my feed.
Oh, that's right. What did the judge decide?
I didn't stay and find out. I just went in to help out Lee. He's done so much for me in the past, I thought I'd try and lend a hand.
And did you?
I don't know. It didn't seem to be going too well for Alan when I left. These domestic cases, everybody airing their laundry in public, I don't know. I hate them.
Hi, Joe. How you doing? I'm on time. I hope you got some garlic.
How's Dan?
Still touch and go. He needs more surgery, but it's too soon to risk it.
So sort of up in the air then.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Excuse me, speaking of garlic, I do have some stuff I have to do in the kitchen.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go with you. So just leave me on. Nice seeing you, Joe.
Wasn't that Mark Dante?
Yeah, he's in the kitchen with Rose.
What's he say about Dan?
Not too optimistic. He didn't make it sound too bad because Rose was here, but Dan's a very sick boy.
Well, what's the talk about more surgery? They mentioned that?
Yeah, they're still talking about it, but he's just not ready for it yet. Look, we'll talk about it a little later, okay?
Yeah.
Hello, Robert.
Hey, mate.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Well, that's pretty obvious. I mean, I'm starving. I'm having dinner with Joe. Now, what's the special?
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing? All right. Look, don't mess around. It's Wednesday. Now, that's normally pot roast or potato pancakes.
We're closed.
Kelly's is closed. That's impossible. Kelly's is never closed.
Well, I think it's time I started closing up every now and then.
Meaning tonight, Robert.
Where am I supposed to eat, then?
Listen, try the star. I hear the food is really dynamite. Now, if you get in and talk to the manager, ask him for a nice table, tell him that you're a friend of mine.
What's going on there?
Boy, that sure took a long time.
Yeah.
Dinner ready yet?
Well, it's partly ready and partly not, mainly not.
It looks like it's burning to me.
I put it out. Look, I got a great idea. Why don't you guys go over to that Chinese restaurant on Elm Street and get us something for dinner, okay?
Let's
That
go
ought
a
to do
little
it.
takeout food, yeah?
Well,
You got it.
Can I get some sweet and sour pork?
Yeah, and get me some of that pork fried rice.
I'm gonna get some charding sue. That's my favorite.
What's charding soup?
That's the place with little dragon deep little kids right there.
Amy, I sent the guys out for some Chinese food. Would you like to come down? Feeling any better?
No,
Would you like to talk about it?
not really.
I just thought it might help. Does it have anything to do with Johnny?
He was awful.
How was he?
He was awful in every possible way. First of all, there were all these little girls chasing after him every place that we went. They're called groupies, and right now Johnny is their new hero.
So I take it he didn't have too much time left over for you, is that it?
He barely even talked to me. And when he did, it was about boxing. He left me out of everything.
Amy, you have to remember one very important thing. He's a success now, and being a success sometimes is very difficult to take.
He isn't even the same person at all.
That's what I'm saying. It distorts your values. Sometimes you forget what is really important in life.
Well, he sure has.
Yeah, but this just might be a temporary thing, that's all.
Yeah, but what do I do? He doesn't even know that I exist anymore.
Well, I know what I do.
What?
Nothing. I just wait. I'd wait and see what Johnny does. Now, if he comes around, if he comes to his senses, that's great. And if he doesn't, maybe he wasn't really worth it after all. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it doesn't help how I feel.
That'll pass. It will. And right now, I need your help keeping this family together in one nice, knit family, okay? Till Lesley gets back, I need you. I really do. I'm counting on it.
I'll try.
Great. Gotcha.
But it won't be easy with Parrish around. You know, he is such a jerk. He says the first thing that comes into his head all the time.
Amy, just be a little patient with him. He's trying. He really is. And you can help him.
All rise. Court is again in session. The Honorable Judge Desmond Taylor presiding. Please be seated.
The court notes that both Plaintiff and defendant are present, represented by counsel. Are there any motions before I read my decision? Mr. Baldwin?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Baldwin?
No, Your Honor.
So be it. First, as to the infant child, Jason, whose welfare I consider paramount in this matter. I have taken cognizance of the fact that the child is, in fact, a Quartermain by admission of his father, and said father, Alan Quartermain, has previously offered to establish a trust fund sufficient to raise the child as befits his father's station. Now, in lieu of the trust, I direct that Alan Quartermain establish a cash settlement for the infant in the amount of $1 million. The infant's mother will administer the money until the child reaches age 21. Now, it's the mother's responsibility to choose a designee to ensure the money will be administered if the mother shall be deceased before the child reaches age 21. Next, as to Miss Moore and her claim for damages. Now, it's my opinion that the promises made to her by the defendant, Alan Quartermain, were no more binding than those given in the course of ordinary courtship. Further, I am persuaded that inasmuch as Alan Quartermain was in fact a married man when he made his promises, and the plaintiff, Susan Moore, knew him to be a married man, a reasonable person might have foreseen the consequences of her act. However, while I find she acted without reasonable consideration of those consequences, nevertheless, I direct that Alan Quartermain pay her a sum for rehabilitation and the establishment of a new life and career. That sum will be $150,000. Finally, I direct that Alan Quartermain defray the cost of Scott Baldwin's legal fees, that cost to be not in excess of $50,000. This case is closed.
All rise.
150,000, that's nothing. I wanted $1 million.
Let's just get out of here.
Did you hear me, Scotty? That's peanuts.
Susan, Scotty's right. Let's just leave.
Excuse me, I'll be right with you.
Sorry, Scotty.
I don't suggest that you go out and celebrate because I have every intention of appealing this case.
If you so decide.
The case is not over yet.
If that's Martin Art, don't you think you need a little more tomato paste?
Young lady, you can watch, but suggestions are not in order. This is not ordinary marinara.
Oh, no? Well, what is it?
This is marinara Dante. People have killed for this. Romanian prince once offered me half his kingdom just for the secret.
Mm-hmm. I still think you should put another can of tomato paste.
I'm going to tell you one more time, one more warning. No suggestions.
I'm sorry. I just can't get used to the idea of standing here watching somebody cook in my kitchen.
Well, then it's time you learn to do that. Broaden your horizons. Let other people do things for you. My pasta. My
I
pasta.
told you that flame was too hot. What? How's the sauce coming?
Who the hell cares?
All that time, all that work, all the worry. For what? A lousy $150,000. Terrific.
Look, would you please calm down, Susan?
Why should I calm down? The two of you tricked me.
Just what's that supposed to mean?
Just what I said. You made me think I had a sure thing, Scotty. You know what? I could have gotten more money out of Alan myself. He'd have paid me to leave him alone.
There's no point in ranting and raving about
Sure
it.
there is. And you're the one who said months ago, don't take the settlement, Susan. Oh, you'll get a lot more. What did I get? Less. A lot less.
Look, your kid got $1 million
Oh,
settlement.
shut up, Scotty. He offered me $1 million before we ever went to court, and you know it. And you both also know that if I ever wanted anything for my son, he'd have handed it to me. I don't know why I ever thought I don't know why I listened to either of you. I was a fool.
We were just trying to help you.
Help yourselves, you mean? And why I ever thought a judge would listen to someone like you? And you, why I ever thought you would want to help me? That's a joke.
Look, you're just upset, okay? Don't forget, now we can appeal.
Oh, sure, we can appeal. Why? So you can get another $50,000 for messing up my case? You got a nice fat fee, mister, and you know what? You don't deserve a penny of it. I need a drink.
I think we'll talk about this appeal when she's calmed down later on.
I think I'll go up and pay the babysitter and get rid of her.
I'll see you later, huh?
All right.
Hey, Susan.
Get out of my house.
Yeah, with pleasure, but I am going to talk to you later on.
I'll go take care of the babysitter now.
Do that.
I can't believe it. I am telling you, I just can't believe it.
About the settlement, I thought it was rather nice myself.
So did I. But what I'm really talking about is your testimony. I mean, what you did for me.
I was rather good, wasn't I?
You were magnificent. Let me ask you something.
Well, the mood I'm in right now, you could ask me just about anything. What?
What you said on the stand, did you mean it?
Alan, I was under oath. You think I would get up there and perjure myself? Of course I meant what I said.
You know, we really ought to celebrate. Shall I get some champagne?
Oh, I think I'm just going to go on upstairs. It's been a long day. Rather tiring day.
Monica? You were beautiful.
You know something? When we work together, we're a pretty good team.
The best. It's Alan.
Just a minute. The door's not locked. Can you help me with this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All My Children, Nina Cortlandt Warner, in love with one man, but challenged by another.
Why don't we order room service? We'll have it up here. How does that sound? Unless, what, you don't trust me, right?
And on the edge of night.
Even the joys of spending money begin to pale. I need something more. I need responsibility. I have to settle down.
Are you asking me?
All My Children, The Edge of Night, weekdays.